Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are starting tonight's service on page 5 with Shalom Aleichem. And Shalom Aleichem is a formal greeting that you return Aleichem Shalom. Okay.
Look at the script.
Oh, okay, fine. So, but if you turn to page 5 with Shalom Aleichem, it is the formal greeting. And then you respond, Aleichem Shalom. That's the formal greetings. But here we just say to each other, Shabbat Shalom. And so turn to your neighbor, wish him a good Shabbos, give him a fist pounce, wave to the person all the way across the room, turn behind you, wish them a good Shabbos. If there's nobody behind you, I don't know. Turn to the person in front of you, that's me. Turn to the cantor, wish him a good Shabbos. And we will start with Lechi Lach, which is a formal blessing. This comes from the Torah portion Lech Lecha. And when Abraham leaves his ancestral home, he leaves for one reason. Does anyone know the reason? So I guess no. To be a blessing, to be a bracha, to be a blessing to everyone that you are around. And I think this week it is really important that we spend a few moments as we listen to this beautiful song, thinking about how when we leave here tonight, that we can be a bracha, a blessing. And to be a bracha in our tradition means to show action. Any blessing that you give in the Jewish tradition, bracha literally means action. It comes from the Hebrew word birkayim, which means knees, which means movement. And that any blessing you offer, any prayer that you offer, should have a movement associated with it. And so let us think, like our ancestor Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel and Leah, all who went from a place that was comfortable into a place that they did not know, so that they could be a bracha, so that they could find actions to give into the world, so that the world could be a better, safer, and more enjoyable place for all of us. So we continue with Lech Lecha. It's a tongue twister for me tonight. Lech Lecha.
That I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing, Lechi Lach. Lechi Lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech Lecha, and all shall know your name. Lechi Lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, lechi lach.
So on page 5 now, we have Shalom Aleichem, and I would like to use this opportunity to formally congratulate the Cooper family on the upcoming, or it's happening, bat mitzvah of Tali. And so one of the things about bar bat mitzvah is I think it's a mistake to say that this is when somebody becomes a man or a woman. It's a misnomer. What's important for us to know is that there's certainly a lot of growing up to do, but now the change is that the student is now becoming a leader in our community. And the way that we show how leadership is really vital to the Jewish people is by having the student, in this case Tali, lead us in parts and aspects of the service. So we invite you up now. That look, oy, do you get that look sometimes, Mom and Dad? Whew, my heart. On page 5 with Shalom Aleichem.
We sing this when it's not silent.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we turn our attention now to page 19 for Ramamu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho.
We turn now to page 23 for Lecha Dodi. As we prepare to invite in the Sabbath bride, we will do the first several stanzas together, and then we will skip to page 25, where we will rise and turn to the entrance as we welcome in the Sabbath bride. We begin on page 23. Dodi ligrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shalom Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki makor ha'meracha merosh mikedem mesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Shalom atem lala.
Gam besimcha uvtzola toch emunei am segula boy kala la 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 likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. We turn now to page 27 for Mizmor Shir.
Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat Tov
Lehodot l'Adonai Uzamer l'shimcha elyon
Uzamer l'shimcha elyon.
We now turn to the Mourner's Kaddish Kadishia tome, which can be found on page 30. For those who are observing Yortzeit or in a state of mourning, we ask that you please rise on page 30. Together we say, Yit Gadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agala uv'izman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbam barach le'olam u'me'omaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei Shalom bin Romav, Huya Asei Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Please be seated. We now will be lighting our candles for the evening. For the Shabbat evening, we light candles to welcome in the Holy Sabbath, a day of rest as we understand it. Why do we light candles? Why are candles so important? There are many, many reasons, one of which is that it really is a way in which to look at our lives. Candles need oxygen, do they not? Without oxygen, there is no way a fire can survive. And just as the human being needs oxygen, but it also needs those around them, the environment around them, we desperately need other people in our life. That is why we have a community. That is the significance of community. If we don't have community, if we don't have those who are sitting next to us, lifting us up when we are down, and pulling us when we need to be pulled, and pushing us when we need to be pushed, we, like a flame, will just go out. And the other is there is a fire in each and every one of us that we must nurture. And when we light the candles on Shabbat, we look at the candle and it always is trying to get higher. That's the nature of the candle. It is always trying to reach higher. Now, I'm not saying to go play with a flame, but if you hold it, you'll see that if you hold it on its side, it tries to go up, just like the human spirit. The human spirit is always trying to do just a little bit more, just a little bit more. We're different than other animals for many reasons, one of which is that when other animals, their belly gets full, what do? They go take a nap. They're done. They're satiated. They're fine until their next meal. When the human being is full, we begin to figure out what our next move is going to be. What and how we are going to add to life. What we are going to do. Because we want to expand and to be just a little more than what we are. So when we light the candles tonight, we consider, if we are going to be a little bit more, what little bit more are we going to add to the world? So I would like to invite up Jane Fishman, Linda Amy, Ellie, and Tali Cooper up to help us as we light the Shabbos candles.
Shanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, v'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, v'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Amen. They did wonderful, didn't they? All right.
No, Daniel's going to take it. Okay.
So we now turn to page 39 for the Baruch Hu. Please rise.
La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai, Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach. Le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue silently up to the bottom of page 39a.
El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Anidim lo chalenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Hama'ariv v'aravim.
Amen.
On page 40, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam
Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki heinu ve'orech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayeinu ve'orech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayeinu ve'orech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla ki hem chayeinu ve'orech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam v'layla
ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Page 41.
Shema Yisrael.
Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad
Ve'ahava et Adonai Elohecha.
B'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'bekumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtaftam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha. As we turn to page 42, we continue silently for the first paragraph on the page and then join together for the last.
Lema'an tizkeru
V'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elokechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem Elohim Ani
Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet.
I hear All right, so why don't we turn to page 44. Oh. We're kind of ruckus here, guys. Oh, geez. All right, so we turn to page 44 as we prepare for the song at the sea, as we really prepare for the Amidah, the centerpiece after the Shema. But we enter into this part of our service with song, with joy, and memory of God's redemption and our ability, again, to come together as a community in prayer. What an ending, huh? She kept on beat, on time. That's really good. 4/4 measure. That's really good. All right. So now we turn to one of my favorite prayers on 45 as we consider our day. What did we do well? What could we have done better? We enter into the night period with reflection of the day as we prepare for the evening. Page 45, Hashki Vena.
And we invite Ellie up to join the cup.
This is her sister.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Vehamitenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
That was beautiful. And I actually, in my mind, thought that I could see you two practicing at home. And your whole family hears it. That's in my mind. I don't know if that's true or not, but I suspect there's something true to that. In the showers, my best musical stuff is always in the shower. But I bench you and Scott, Amy, I bench that you continue to hear the voices of your children singing in your house for years to come, and grandchildren's and many, many more joyous occasions. May they truly find joy, and your walls of your house find joy in the song of your children. We now turn our attention we're moving right along, so we rise on page 46 for Vishamru. Please rise. Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את ha-Shabbat לעשות את ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם Israel, Oti leolam, Oti leolam, Oti leolam. Veshamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. In the middle of the page, the Chatzi Kaddish on page 46.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amati brachiote ve'amlich malchute.
B'chayechon u'yom echon u'b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv.
V'meru.
Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach. Le'olam le'om le'omaya yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrom v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitala, shemei dekudesha.
Birichu.
Le'lam yimko berchata v'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma.
V'meru.
Amen. We remain standing on page 47 for Tefillat HaAmidah LaAravit LaShabbat, the Friday night Amidah, and we read our personal prayers up to page 52, and when you have completed your prayers, please be seated.
Na 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 Ananananana ufi agid tehilatecha.
Nope. This one's quiet. Marv.
We turn now to page 51 for Shalom Rav. Page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
Yikara v'yikara shemei rabba.
Amen.
Be'almati brachiote ve'amlich malchute. B'chayachon uvyamechon. U'chayetechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'visman kari ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam le'omei omaya, yibarach.
Yitbarach viet Shabbat, viet Pa'ar, viet Tramam, viet Naseh, viet Hadar, viet Allah, viet Halal, Shemed Kudusha. Le'lamim kol birchata v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'ama v'imeru.
Amen.
Titkabot loton uvachon dechol Yisrael kadam avuchon devi shemaya v'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen.
Ose shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen. Wonderful job. We now turn to page 55 for Kiddush, Lilel Shabbat, Kiddush for Sabbath evening, and I'd like to invite Louis Fishman, Tali, Scott, Ari, and Daniel Cooper up to help lead us in Kiddush. Please rise.
Hang on, hold on, we're almost there. Almost there. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Borei peri hagafen,
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon himchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon himchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim. Please be seated.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great job, great job. You can sit down. Here.
At this time, we offer a Misha Berach for those who are in need of healing spiritually, mentally, or physically. We ask that if you're offering a name at this time, please rise at your seat and offer that name. Please.
Anne Marie Evans, Ivy Rothschild, Yitzhak Latnick.
Rebecca Reinhardt, Julie Clark, Sandra Wright, Betsy Klein.
Brian Grossbauer, Ron T, Jackie O'Dell, Susan Pierce, Amanda Newman, Marie Newbert, Lori Newton, Anne Marie Paul, Rhonda Jepson, Judy Barnett, Balaam Joe Marino, Joshua Pope, Katrin Apostefis, victims of the Laguna Woods, victims of Uvalde, Texas, Ukrainians, Denise Robinson, Debbie Hoban, Carol Holton.
Sonia.
Others? Misha Berach.
Misha Berach, Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yivarech v'Rapeh et ha'holim. Yishabera Avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yivarech v'Rapeh et ha'holim. Elna Rafana Allah, Elna Rafana Allah, Elna Rafana Allah, Elna Rafana Allah, Yishabera Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu Yivarech v'Rapeh et ha'holim.
May God send a refuah shema, refuah nefesh, refuah haguf, a complete healing of mind and body for those in need, and let us all say,
Amen.
Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Congratulations to the Cooper family. Oh, there she is. I was looking for you. It's such a pleasure to have you up here, and I look forward to celebrating with you tomorrow. We start at 9:30, so we're looking forward to having a wonderful, wonderful celebration tomorrow morning. I also want to just take this moment to really reflect on what happened last Sunday, that our entire community came together in a unique way, where we were able to come together in Santa Clarita with clergy from Muslims community, our Jewish community represented by congregation Beth Shalom, and many different Christian faiths that came together to really, we had a vigil for what happened obviously in Buffalo and what happened in Southern California, not far from us. And I just want to thank all of you who were able to come out and participate in that. And we were on an email chain, and there were many people there representing the NAACP was there. So we were able to really come together as a community. We were able to heal in a unique way that really hasn't been done in this area in quite some time, from what I'm told. And then this week happened, as we all know, and emails started bouncing back and forth. And again, we're at a loss for words. We're at a loss. And but the connections were made. The connections were made. And if you have a chance, go listen to what our leadership from many different faiths were saying. It's about connection. It's about making connections. And what is really a bracha, it was really a blessing out of some of this darkness, is that we have found new friends in different faiths. We have found new friends to reach out to and mourn together and to celebrate together. And that's a blessing. And that's a blessing. And the reverend that hosted the event actually called me today and asked just to have a conversation. And we as communities can come together to celebrate, and we can come together and heal. And isn't that a bracha? Isn't that a blessing? So I'm grateful for that, and I offer this prayer because I really don't have words, and it says, my prayer, I don't know whom at times to offer it to, but I offer it. My prayer, I have no one to whom to say it, but I say it. My prayer, it freezes on my palate at times, but I still have it. My prayer, it wells up sometimes in a fit of rage and disappointment, but I must speak it. My prayer, it falters again and again, yet I persist. My prayer at times fails, vanished without words, yet I offer it. My prayer is to God, who may not even hear it, but still I say it. And prayer is for us. Prayer is for us to become better people, to engage us in dialogue with ourselves and others and God, so that we act and make movement. And as I sit here, I offer you these words that relate really to a little bit of Gemara, a little bit of the Talmud that I thought was important that we learn this evening, that we at least reflect on. And truly, much of our day-to-day living, we are truly unaware, are we not? We're unaware the impact we have on other people, oblivious to what is right in front of us. Maybe there are some of us for a moment we can focus, and yet we often come right back to unconsciousness. Until we are confronted with something monumental, we often don't bring our lives into focus. Even small moments or expression of life that snap us back into reality, what's really important, they often don't last very long. There are quick ways to snap us into the presence. Think about this. Do you know you've never actually seen yourself? You've only seen your reflection? Oh, interesting. Do you know that these two fingertips have never touched? And now everyone's going to try and, wait, what do you mean? I'm just wait. Fiddle with that one for a while. How many of you are even aware that you're breathing right now? And until I said that, maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe you need a breath mint. Maybe the person next to you needs a breath mint. Without it, you don't exist. You know that. Yet how much are you aware of it unless it's been cut off or it's labored or you have a problem breathing? Shabbat reminds us of the importance of elevating our consciousness and prioritizing our awareness, helping us to wake up out of our day-to-day normative living. This will help us move away from our unconscious choices. This week, we are brought to an immediate consciousness. Our daily assumptions have been shattered. Our attention has been turned to our world and its challenges, its disappointments, and it solicits within us fear, anger, and other intense emotions. How do we find focus or any kind of clarity at a time like this, if we can even do it? In the Talmud, Rav Yehuda said to Rav, what's the meaning of the pasuk of the verse that says, do not touch my anointed ones and do my prophets no harm? What does do not touch my anointed ones? These are our school children. You should not touch our school children, who are precious, as the Gemara says, and as important as kings and priests. Reish Lakish, one of my favorites, said in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nasiya, the great Yehuda the Prince, the world only exists, the world in which you and I live in only exists because of the breath of school children, the breathing of a child. And Reish Lakish said in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, one may not interrupt school children even in order to build the temple in Jerusalem. And Reish Lakish said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, I have received from my ancestors that any city, and where there are no school children, it should be a destroyed city. It is not a city worth living in. And Ravina said, it's actually just desolate. There's no life there. I need not make the parallels of what is truly important. If you've watched a newborn or a child walk, well, a newborn can't walk in a room, but if a newborn was brought into a room and a child walked into a room of adults, often the attention is on a child. Have you not noticed this? Everyone focuses on the kid. Oh, they're so cute. Don't they? Adults begin to behave a little differently. The most grumpy old man all of a sudden is making goo goo gaga face. We've all seen it, haven't we? Adults begin to behave differently, don't they? In fact, you get a glimpse of who they actually are on the inside, of who they are and who they really truly want to be. But because we live a life that we are so built with walls that we stop being who we actually are. We get a glimpse of who they are and how much we as adults have become bogged down with the living of day to day, resentful, angry, hurt. Children have the ability to draw that joy out of adults. The Talmud actually acknowledges this, immediately bringing into focus that school children are held at a status of kings and priests. When they come into the room, we feel this way. Our world exists because of the breath of children. Our focus, therefore, ought to be on how to allow our children to breathe, not on how you can breathe. Too often we're concerned with our own hurts, resentments, fears, joys, expressions, that we forget about the child sitting next to us. And how do we raise our consciousness around others when we at best infrequently have the consciousness of our own life? If we were to raise our consciousness not on our breath and its implications, but on the breath of those who have just begun to breathe, what would that mean? If we fought for others as we fight for our own breath when it is threatened, how would you actually act in light of it? To be consciously aware, we must have a lens to look through. We cannot use our eyes to look into something deeper, and we cannot use our ears to listen harder. We must filter our actions through the ideal that our children should be able to breathe in their day-to-day lives. Our children should be able to breathe when they walk down the street, enter a school, and attend a service like this. No one, for that matter, should have to hold their breath and wish and hope and pray as they perform their daily activities. Let us consider this Shabbat, please, that every time we take a conscious breath, that we are aware that the breath of the school children allows the world to exist. And let us put into actions ways in which we show our children that their breath matters, that they are kings and queens among us. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to turn our attention now to just a moment. I will ask that we take a moment of reflection, and I ask that you all rise as we sing Adonai Ro'i. God, we ask for your support and your time and your support and thoughts and truly your presence at this time. We offer this prayer.
Adonai Ro'i lo echsar Bino deshe yarbitzeni Almei menuchot yenaleini Nafshi yeshovev Yancheni b'magalei tzedek Yancheni b'magalei tzedek Leman Yeshemo Gam ki ele Begetz amavet lo ira Ki ata imadi shivtecha umishantecha Hemayanacha muni Ta'aroch lefanai Shulchan neged sorarai Dishanta vashemen roshi Kosi Ravaya Aktov v'chesed Yirdefuni Kol yamei chayai V'shavti beveit Adonai Leorech Yamim
Adonai roi lo exar. Adonai roi lo exar.
May the one who brings peace to the universe bring peace to us, to all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say,
Amen.
Please be seated. This time we turn to page 63 for Sfirat HaOmer, as we say the bracha, and today happens to be 1 week away from the ending of the counting of the Omer, so we say the bracha on page 63, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sfirat HaOmer. And we turn to page 69, and it is ER 27. At the very bottom of the page, we say, Hayom Shnayim va'arba'im Yom Shehem Shisha Shavuot LaOmer. Today is 42 days, 6 weeks of the Omer. And let us all say, Amen. We now invite Tali up to lead us in our concluding prayers with Aleinu, which can be found on page 56. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabach
Ladon hakol, latei kedula le'elsev reshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamalachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu natei shamayim ve'oser haaretz, umashav yekaro b'shamayim imal, ushchinatu zo, Begavhei meromim, U Eloheinu einot, Emet malkeinu efes ulato, Kakatu betorato, Ve'adata hayom v'hashevota, Elevavecha. Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim imal ve'al haaretz mitachat einod. Please join us at the bottom of page 57.
Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar, v'chaya
Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, v'yom ha'hu, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. We ask those who are mourning or observing your sight remain standing for the Kaddish Tome, which can be found on page 58. In love, we remember those who no longer walk this earth. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for the joys we shared, and for the cherished memories that never fade. May God grant those who mourn the strength to see beyond their sorrows, sustaining them despite their grief. And may the faith that binds us to our loved one be a continued source of comfort. In this week's yard sites, Norman Bodenstein, father of Patricia Krieger, Mark Eisenberg, husband of Sue Eisenberg, Ari Feather, father of Marcus Fetter, Michael Lomas, father of Stacy Kupfer, Sylvia Marks, mother of Andy Gruber, Abe Perlmutter, uncle of Lawrence Perlmutter, Patricia Reed, mother of John Reed, Bernie Taylor, grandfather of Jennifer Schuper, Barry Tepperman, father of Philip Tepperman, David Wilkin, brother of Doug Wilkin, Shira Young, sister of Linda Raviv, and we are in the Shloshim of Shirley Cohen, mother of Harry and Fred Cohen. Again, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 58. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chilutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayei chon uvyomei chon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbam v'rach le'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitala shemei dekutsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, chaim aleinu be'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bin romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu be'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes harmony and peace in the heights, grant harmony and peace to us, to all Israel and all humankind, and let us all say, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up our Vice President of Ritual, Ken Greenberg, up for a few announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Wow, what a heavy week. Really a heavy week. The angels were very upset at what happened in Texas. And at the same time, when that evil was going on, the Cooper family was in that kitchen thinking about Shabbos. And they were making delicious treats that you're about to enjoy. And the angels were a little happier that even though there's evil in the world, there's also goodness. And it was comforting for them that they saw that there was goodness. And then I walked in, and the angels saw this beautiful setup. And you lit the candles, and there's wine. And the Shabbat angels were thrilled with us and with the Coopers that there is goodness in the world. So with that, I'm going to do the announcements now. So tomorrow morning at 9:30, Tali is going to enlighten us, and we're going to continue the Shabbat experience, and we're going to pray for goodness in the world and that evil will stop. Monday, May 30th, the office and preschool are closed because, of all things, it's Memorial Day, and we honor and treasure those who died for our freedom. Friday, June 3rd is the USY Shabbat. Saturday, June 4th, we are going to be celebrating Shavuot at Temple Beth Ami at 7 p.m. And as traditional, there will be dairy, and we will celebrate the giving of Torah. And we do this, we alternate each year. So please come support the holiday, Saturday, June 4th at Temple Beth Ami at 7 p.m. And the following day, right here, all those lights are going to be lit. Why? One of the 4 times when we say Yisker, and we remember those who passed, because we are doing a Shavuot service here at 10 o'clock. Please come that Sunday. There is no religious school, so come and feel the energy of Shavuot and the giving of Torah. Saturday, June 11th, Benjamin Siegel. Benjamin Siegel. You're not being shy, are you, over there, bud? Because it's your bar mitzvah on June 11th. Wow, that came up quick, huh? And so Sunday, June 12th is the last day of religious school, and the CBS film series will be presenting A Starry Sky Above the Roman Ghetto at 2 p.m. We got a lot going on here. Tuesday, June 21st, Dining for Dollars at BJ's. And last, but absolutely not least, with all this craziness, June 26th, right here. Celebrate. The theme is Increasing Our Joy. We're having a gala. Come support. I can tell you it's going to be just fabulous evening. And if you don't come, you're going to hear about it, that you're going to be sorry that you missed it. But it's going to be fabulous. And last but not least, I made reference to this earlier, but the Oneg is being sponsored, and we are going to enjoy it by the Cooper family. And with that, thank you, Rabbi and Cantor and Tali. Shabbat Shalom.
And thank you, Ken, for all you do. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to page 211 for Adon Olam, which will be led, of course, by our Bat Mitzvah, Tali. 211.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yisir Nivra Le'nasa V'nefsa Kol
Azai Melech Shemo Nivra
Ve'aharei
Kichot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Hayam Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yihye Betifara
Ve'hu Echad
Ve'en Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira Beli Reshit Beli Tachlit Velo Haoz Ve'hamizra
Ve'hu Eli
V'chai Goali V'tzur Chevli Be'et Sahara Ve'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Be'ahado Afkid Ruchi Be'et Ishan Ve'ahira Ve'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shkach.
Really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.